Misconduct and Business Ethics Code. The code is a guide for employees, directors, and business partners to act with integrity, professionalism, and respect for the law. Avoid conflict of interest. Staff must not let personal interests affect work decision, and any conflict must be reported. No bribery or corruption. Petronas has zero tolerance for bribery and corruption. Gift and entertainment must follow company rules. Follow all law, including those in fair competition, import-export, and international sanctions. Protect company assets. Employees must care for resources such as computer, money, and records. Honest financial reporting. Records must never be falsified or hidden. Respect confidentiality and intellectual property. Private info and trade secret must not be shared or misused. No insider trading. Using secret information for personal benefit is strictly forbidden. Lastly, consequences of breaking code's rule may result in job loss or termination of business relationship. Health, safety, and environment policy. Petronas aims to achieve world-class HSE performance with zero incident, zero illness, and zero injuries. Follow law and standards. All operations must comply with HSE law and internal procedure. Prevent risk and protect the environment. Every step should prevent injury, health risk, and damage. Provide resource and communication. Enough support and system should be in place for HSE engagement. Meet legal requirement. Facilities, products, and services must follow law and best industry practices. Be ready for emergency. Emergency plan must be prepared, shared, and practiced. Continuous improvement. HSE performance should be upgraded using people, process, and technology. Lastly, share responsibility. Employee, supplier, and contractor must understand and follow this policy. Anti-bribery and corruption policy. Petronas follow a strict no-gift policy. Employers, directors, and partners cannot give or receive gift to avoid conflict of interest. Gift may only be accepted in rare situation and must be reported and approved. Cash or voucher are always forbidden. Entertainment and hospitality are limited to prevent unfair influence in business. No gift or entertainment are allowed for public officials. Facilitation payments are not allowed unless it's to protect someone's safety. All third-party partners must go through due diligence check before working with Petronas. Lastly, breaking this policy may lead to disciplinary action, termination, or legal consequences. Whistleblower policy. This policy allows employees and the public to report any misconduct or criminal acts such as fraud, bribery, or abuse of power. Reports can be made anonymously and safely without fear of punishment. Petronas will keep the identity of the whistleblower confidential as much as possible. Reports are taken seriously, fairly, and investigated quickly. The whistleblower will be informed of the outcome once the case is reviewed. Human rights policy. Petronas respects human rights to support safe, fair, and legal working conditions. It does not allow child labor, forced labor, or discrimination in hiring. Workers have the right to form unions and bargain collectively. The company cares for community well-being, land rights, and indigenous people's rights. Petronas checks that suppliers and contractors also follow these human rights rules. Lastly, training is given to staff and security teams to protect any human rights at work. Incident investigation procedure. All incidents must begin with immediate reporting, either through phone or SMS, and must then be formally submitted using the MyHSE system. Next, the incident is classified based on how serious it is, such as whether it's a major or high potential incident. An investigation team is then formed to visit the sites, gather evidence, and identify the root cause of the incidents. A full investigation report must be prepared, including a detailed root cause analysis. The team must also submit an HSE alert within 1 week, along with final investigation report through the MyHSE system. After that, corrective action must be taken to fix the problems and prevent similar incidents in the future. This entire procedure is carried out in compliance with Petronas HSE policy, Malaysia Petroleum Management MPM guidelines, and national safety regulation. Procurement and contract management procedure. All purchases must begin with planning and budgeting to ensure they are within the approved budget and meet project needs. Next, vendor selection is done through the Petronas Licensing Management System (PLMS), where only licensed or registered vendors are approved. The tender process follows, where all bids are evaluated fairly using the SUS portal and the unified procurement platform. Once a vendor is selected, the contract signing takes place using standard legal terms and complete after both parties agree. During the contract period, execution and monitoring are carried out to track the vendor's performance in terms of quality, timeline, cost and safety. Finally, payment and closeout are done by reviewing invoice, making payment as agreed, and preparing a final report to complete the contract. Sustainability Management Procedure. Petronas begins with governance oversight, where committees such as the Risk, Audit and Nomination Committees oversee sustainability, risk and action. All sustainability initiatives must show alignment with the company's annual business and budget plans to ensure consistency. These strategies are then sent to the Board of Directors for review and formal approval. After approval, the committee carry out ongoing monitoring and submit quarterly updates to the board. To improve decision-making, Petronas also seek expert input through discussion with climate and sustainability professionals. Finally, the company ensures continuous improvement by regularly reviewing sustainability efforts, adapting to legal updates, and addressing new challenges. Whistleblowing procedure. Employees, vendor, or member of the public can report any misconduct or wrongdoing through email or the secure Whispley platform. Once a report is submitted, the whistleblowing committee will assess the case and determine whether an investigation is required. If the case is valid, a fair investigation will be carried out where evidence is collected and properly reviewed. If misconduct is confirmed, corrective action will be taken, which may include disciplinary measure or improvement to company policy. Finally, the outcome of the investigation will be reported to senior management and the board directors to ensure accountability and transparency.
Okay, for manuals in political contributions, there is strict prohibition with no political contributions, money or in kind, allowed on behalf of Petronas. This covers and applies to political parties, candidates, party officials, and political link organizations. But they are employee have and free to vote and support political causes personally and must not imply Petronas support or involvement. And Petronas will not cover or reimburse any personal political contributions. So for manual sponsorships and donations, Petronas supports community well-being through social impact activation SIA, sponsorships and donations. Governance and approval required to follow Petronas policies and approval needed from the management or the board. This is because government requests often ask to support local social programs and assistance is given only in appropriate and lawful situations. But there is a strict assessment process such as requests must be genuine from recognized entities and evaluated to avoid unlawful business influence. The risk management concerns must be resolved before committing funds to ensure program must be well managed to benefit the intended recipients. So dealing with third parties. Third parties involve contractors, suppliers, agents, consultants, introducers, and many more. So all transactions must align with an applicable laws and Petronas Code of Business Ethics. So ethical standards expected such as third parties must uphold Petronas values and misconduct can cause legal risk and reputation damage. So due to diligence is critical, they need to perform true background checks and assess integrity and business practices of all potential partners. So Petronas' goal is to collaborate only with ethical, trustworthy and compliant third parties. So there is a guideline for license and registrations. There are a few types of application such as new license or registrations, renewal of license or registrations, update of license or registrations, cancellation of license or registrations, update of standardized work and equipment categories SWEC, And lastly is cancellation standardized work and equipment categories SWEC.
Let's begin with key requirements that Petronas approach in their business. These are critical for maintaining legal compliance, operational efficiency, and information security. The first one is Petronas Engineering Data Management System, or PEDMS. PEDMS is a centralized web-based platform used to manage all engineering and technical documents across Petronas projects. It handles everything from design drawing to maintenance record and ensures that are securely stored, properly visioned, and accessible only to authorized users. This system improves data integrity by controlling changes and ensuring accountability, efficiency by making it easier to retrieve essential documents, and collaboration across teams and departments. Importantly, PEDMS support compliance with ISO 9001, which promotes quality assurance through structured document control. Next, Records Management Standards and Guidelines, RMSG. RMSG is Petronas' internal framework for managing documents from creation to disposal. It includes policies on classification by sensitivity, which is secret, confidential, internal, and open. Next, retention and disposal schedules. And lastly, secure storage and control access. This system helps maintain compliance, legal regulations, and internal policies such as the Code of Business Ethics and Anti-Bribery Manual. And lastly, compliance with international standards. Petronas adheres to major international standards including ISO 15489 in record management, which sets best practice for record classification, access right, and retention. And next, ISO 14001, which is for environmental management, which supports environmental goals like reducing waste and energy use. And lastly, ISO 45001, that is for occupational health and safety, which help ensure safe working conditions across all operation sites. Together, these standards create a solid foundation for transparency, sustainability, and global compliance. That's all. Thank you. Now, even with strong policies in place, these are areas where Petronas can improve its system and culture. The first one is training ethics and compliance. Petronas should increase training on the Code of Business Ethics, or COBE, using a real-life case studies to show the impact of unethical behavior. The anti-bribery and corruption policy should be reinforced, including clearer rules for third-party engagement and gift policy. The second one is to enhance whistleblowing protection. While Petronas has whistleblowing policy, more can be done. We recommend to creating independent review panels to avoid bias, adopting the OECD guidelines to protect whistleblowers from retaliation, and lastly, sharing updates on resolved cases to build employee trust. And third, improve sustainability and transparency. Petronas should set measurable environmental goals and benchmark against leaders like Shell or BP, involve local communities in green projects, and expand its low carbon efforts using technology like carbon capture. Following ISO 14001 will ensure structured environmental reporting and better sustainability outcomes. And lastly, to strengthen record management and public access. Finally, Petronas should make key non-sensitive documents available to public, especially for vendors and researchers. These include clear retention schedule and data classification guidelines aligned with Malaysia PDPA and ISO 15489. A public record portal would enhance transparency, build stakeholder trust, and demonstrate Petronas' leadership in data governance. These improvements will not only enhance operational efficiency and compliance but also elevate Petronas' global standing as a responsible, ethical, and forward-thinking energy leader. And that's all for us. Thank you.